The Prilorians considered themselves an invincible species, until a human slaughtered an entire platoon of them, single-handedly, earning the moniker the Butcher of Tarvos. In a dimly lit bar on a seedy space station, Kraxon the Prilorian mercenary met with a mysterious client. The client slid a hollow image of a human across the stained table. "I want you to assassinate this man, the Butcher of Tarvos," the client said, voice distorted by a modulator. "He killed over 100 of your kind when they invaded his planet. Prilorians, the most feared warriors in the galaxy." Kraxon scoffed. "Impossible. No human could do that. Our regenerative abilities, superior technology—" "It's all true. Here is the footage." The client played a gruesome holographic recording of a human in blood-spattered armor, firing a coil gun with inhuman speed and precision, Prilorian bodies piling around him. Kraxon clenched his fists as he watched his brethren fall. This human, this butcher, had done the unthinkable. He had to die. It was the only way to restore the Prilorians' honor. "I'll take the contract," Kraxon growled. "No matter where this human hides in the galaxy, I'll find him. I'll gut him. I'll mount his head on my ship as a trophy." The mysterious client smiled, sliding a credit chip with an astronomical sum across the table to Kraxon. The Prilorian took it, his new life's mission clear. Find this human. Avenge the fallen Prilorian warriors. Prove that his species was still the most invincible in the galaxy. The Butcher of Tarvos would pay for what he'd done. Kraxon would make sure of that. Kraxon's intel pointed him to a dingy watering hole on Nyx, a moon known for its anything-goes attitude. He ducked through the doorway, the metal frame rusted from decades of neglect. The interior reeked of stale alcohol and body odor. Shady figures huddled in booths, trading whispers and furtive glances. Shouldering his way to the bar, Kraxon flagged the bartender. "I'm looking for someone named Jason Jones, human, ex-military." The bartender, a four-armed Xyloth, jutted his chin toward the back corner. "Over there, buy a drink first or get out." Kraxon tossed a credit chip on the bar and received a murky glass of liquor in return. He approached the corner booth, where a grizzled man with salt and pepper hair and a face like weathered leather sat cleaning his fingernails with a combat knife. "Are you Jones?" Kraxon growled. The man looked up, ice-blue eyes sizing up the Prilorian. "Who wants to know?" "Name's Kraxon. I'm looking for the Butcher of Tarvos. Heard you might have information." Jones snorted. "The Butcher? You're on a fool's errand, pal. Prilorians got their asses handed to them, and now you want to find the guy responsible? It's suicide." Kraxon slammed his fist on the table, leaning in close. "I don't care. He slaughtered my people. I'm going to kill him." Jones leaned back, studying Kraxon with a smirk. "You've got guts, I'll give you that. But you're chasing a ghost. The Butcher isn't one man. It's a whole damn unit. The Reapers." "The Reapers?" "Elite human special forces. They specialize in neutralizing alien threats. The guys who took down your platoon, that's their MO. Unconventional tactics, advanced tech, and they know exactly how to exploit weaknesses." Kraxon digested this information. The Butcher was a whole team of deadly humans. It only made his mission more vital. "Where can I find them?" Jones chuckled. "You don't find the Reapers, pal, and if you did, you'd be dead before you could blink." "You seem to know a lot about them." "Let's just say I've had my fair share of run-ins. Tell you what, you cut me in on that bounty you're no doubt chasing, and I might be able to point you in the right direction." Kraxon weighed his options. He didn't trust this human, but Jones clearly had insider knowledge. "Fine. 60-40 split. 70-30, take it or leave it." Kraxon ground his teeth. "Deal, now talk." Jones drained his glass and stood. "The Reapers operate out of a top-secret military installation. Getting in won't be easy, but lucky for you, I know a guy who might be able to help. Come on, we've got some planning to do." The unlikely duo exited the bar, Kraxon's thoughts swirling with visions of vengeance. He would infiltrate this human stronghold, find the so-called Reapers, and make them pay for what they did to his kind. One way or another, blood would be spilled. Jones led the way through the winding corridors of the human military base, his familiarity with the layout evident in his confident strides. Craxon followed close behind, his senses heightened, ready to neutralize any threats that might emerge. "Turn left here," Jones whispered, gesturing to a nondescript door. He punched a series of codes into the keypad, and the door hissed open, revealing a dimly lit stairwell descending into the depths of the facility. As they crept down the stairs, the air grew colder, the walls closing in around them. At the bottom, they found themselves in a vast underground complex, the heart of the Reaper's operation. Training rooms, armories, and barracks stretched out before them, a hive of activity. Jones made a beeline for a computer terminal, his fingers flying across the keys as he hacked into the system. Craxon kept watch, his hand resting on the hilt of his plasma blade. "I'm in," Jones muttered, his eyes scanning the data on the screen. "Looks like the Reapers are gearing up for a big mission. They're targeting a Prilorian weapons factory on Zorgax Prime." Craxon's blood ran cold. Zorgax Prime was a key manufacturing hub for the Prilorians' military. If the Reapers succeeded in their sabotage, it could cripple his species' ability to defend itself. "We have to stop them," Craxon growled, his resolve hardening. "Where are they now?" Jones tapped a few more keys, bringing up a map of the complex. "Their quarters are in the north wing. If we hurry, we might be able to catch them before they mobilize." Craxon nodded, and they set off, navigating the labyrinthine halls with urgency. As they approached the Reapers section of the base, Jones suddenly stopped, a sly grin spreading across his face. "You know, I really should thank you, Craxon," he said, his tone dripping with malice. "You played your part perfectly." Craxon's eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" Jones laughed, the sound echoing off the metal walls. "You really thought I was helping you out of the goodness of my heart? I work for the Reapers, you idiot. This whole thing was a setup to lure you here and gather intel on Prilorian tactics." Rage boiled in Craxon's veins, his vision turning red. He lunged at Jones, his fists connecting with the human's jaw in a satisfying crunch. Jones retaliated, his own blows fueled by a lifetime of combat experience. They traded punches, grappling and slamming each other against the walls. Craxon's superior strength gave him an edge, but Jones was quick and cunning, using the Prilorian's bulk against him. As they fought, alarms began to blare throughout the complex, the base coming alive with activity. Craxon knew they had only moments before the Reapers descended upon them, but he was consumed by his fury, determined to make Jones pay for his betrayal. The alarms blared through the complex as Craxon and Jones traded blows, their fight spilling into the corridors. The sound of heavy boots marching in unison echoed off the walls. A squad of heavily armed soldiers rounded the corner, their weapons trained on the brawling duo. "Stand down!" a commanding voice boomed. Colonel Marcus Rain emerged from the ranks, his steely gaze fixed on Craxon. "Surrender now, and you might just live to see another day." Craxon spat blood, his fist still clenched. "I'd rather die than submit to you, human scum." Rain smirked. "Oh, I don't plan on killing you, not yet anyway. You're far too valuable. Take him alive, men." The soldiers advanced, their stun batons crackling with electricity. Craxon charged forward, his plasma blade slicing through the air. He managed to fell 2 soldiers before a well-placed blow from Jones sent him sprawling. Craxon struggled to his feet, his vision blurring from the impact. He knew he couldn't win this fight, not with an entire platoon bearing down on him. His eyes darted around, searching for an escape route. A glint of metal caught his eye, a sleek, angular shape nestled in a nearby hangar bay. A stealth ship. With a roar of defiance, Craxon lunged toward the ship, his muscles screaming in protest. Plasma bolts sizzled past him as he sprinted up the ramp and into the cockpit. His fingers flew across the controls, his Prilorian military training kicking in. The engines hummed to life, and the ship lifted off, bursting through the hangar doors in a shower of sparks. Rain watched the ship disappear into the sky, his face a mask of cold fury. He turned to Jones, who was nursing a split lip. You let him escape." Jones shrugged. "He was a tough bastard, but I did my job. I got him here, didn't I?" Rain studied him for a long moment. "You did, and you've proven your worth. How would you like to join the Reapers, Jones? We could use a man with your skills." Jones grinned. "I thought you'd never ask." As Craxon's stolen ship hurtled through space, he patched a secure communication to Prilorian High Command. "This is Craxon. I have urgent news. The humans are planning an attack on our weapons factory on Zorgax Prime." The holographic image of a grizzled Prilorian general flickered to life. "Craxon? What is the meaning of this? You were supposed to be hunting down the Butcher." "The Butcher is a human special forces unit called the Reapers. They're the ones who slaughtered our platoon on Tarvos, and now they're coming for Zorgax Prime." The general's eyes narrowed. "How do you know this?" "I infiltrated their base. I saw their plans. You have to mobilize our defenses now." The general hesitated, then nodded. "Very well, I will alert our forces on Zorgax Prime. If what you say is true, we must be prepared." Craxon gripped the ship's controls, his jaw set with determination. He had to reach the weapons factory before the Reapers did. He had to protect his people, no matter the cost. The fate of the Prilorian race hung in the balance. Craxon's stolen ship dropped out of warp, the massive Prilorian weapons factory filling the view screen. His heart raced as he scanned the scene before him. The factory's defenses were already engaged, plasma cannons firing at the darting shapes of human assault craft. The Reapers had arrived first, despite his desperate warning. He punched the throttle, weaving through the chaos of the battle. A trio of human fighters fell in behind him, their laser cannons stitching deadly lines across his shields. Craxon juked and rolled, evading their fire with the skill born of a lifetime of combat. As he closed on the factory's hangar bay, a new wave of dread washed over him. The bay doors were blasted open, the twisted metal still glowing from the heat of the explosions. The Reapers were already inside. Craxon landed hard, leaping from the cockpit before the ship had finished settling on its landing gear. He charged into the factory, his plasma blade igniting with a hiss. The scene inside was one of utter devastation. Prilorian warriors lay dead and dying, their purple blood pooling on the deck. The Reapers moved among them, their advanced weapons cutting down the defenders with ruthless efficiency. Craxon let out a battle cry, his voice echoing through the cavernous space. "Rally to me, brothers, drive these humans from our sacred ground." The surviving Prilorians took heart at his arrival, surging forward to meet the Reapers in hand-to-hand combat. Craxon was a whirlwind of death, his blade a blur as he hacked and slashed his way through the human ranks. And then he saw him, Jones clad in the black armor of the Reapers, his face twisted in a sneer of triumph. Craxon roared in fury, charging towards his former ally turned betrayer. Their blades clashed in a shower of sparks, the force of the impact sending shockwaves through their bodies. They traded blows, each seeking to exploit the other's weaknesses. "You should have joined us, Craxon," Jones taunted, his voice barely audible over the din of battle. "The Reapers are the future. The Prilorians are nothing but a relic of the past." Craxon snarled, redoubling his efforts. "The Prilorians will never submit to human rule. We will fight to the last warrior, the last drop of blood." As they fought, Craxon's mind raced. The Reapers were too strong, too well equipped. The Prilorians were being slaughtered. There was only one way to stop them. With a final desperate lunge, Craxon disengaged from Jones, sprinting towards the factory's central reactor. Jones gave chase, firing his weapon at Craxon's back. Craxon staggered as the plasma bolts tore through his armor, but he did not slow. With the last of his strength, he reached the reactor control panel and plunged his blade into the heart of the machine. The explosion was blinding, a searing wave of heat and light that consumed everything in its path. Craxon felt his flesh burning, his bones shattering, but even as he died, he felt a sense of grim satisfaction. He had given his life to protect his people, to strike a blow against the hated humans. In the aftermath of the battle, the Prilorian High Command surveyed the ruins of the factory. The the bodies of the fallen warriors still smouldering in the wreckage. They had won a Pyrrhic victory, but at a terrible cost. The humans had shown themselves to be a formidable foe, their Reaper units capable of striking at the very heart of Prilorian power. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and the Prilorians would need to adapt if they hoped to survive. On the human side, Jones sat in the medical bay of the Reaper transport, his wounds being tended to by the ship's medics. He stared at his hands, still stained with Prilorian blood. He had fought for the Reapers, had killed his former ally without hesitation. But now, in the quiet moments after the battle, he couldn't help but wonder if it had all been worth it. The cost had been high on both sides, and he knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was changing, and Jones wasn't sure if he was ready for what came next. But one thing was certain: the conflict between the Prilorians and the humans was far from over. And he would be there, on the front lines, until the bitter end. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.